Los Angeles, 1985. A city that never sleeps, suddenly gripped by a nightmare. Women, men, children, none were safe. Bedrooms turned into crime scenes. Locked doors, deadbolts, alarm systems. Nothing could stop him. He didn't need a pattern. He didn't need a motive. He only needed the night. They called him the Night Stalker. But what walked in the darkness was more than a killer. It was chaos wearing a human face. June 28, 1984. Glass shatters. In a small Los Angeles apartment, 79-year-old Jenny Vinco is found brutally murdered. Stab wounds, signs of sexual assault. Her body desecrated. Her apartment ransacked. Police are stunned by the violence. But what they don't know yet is that this is only the beginning. 9 months of silence. Then, March 1985, another victim, Dale Okazaki, shot in her home. Then Sai-Lian Yu, pulled from her car and executed on the roadside. He doesn't discriminate. Race, age, gender, irrelevant. He kills for thrill. He kills for control. And each time, he leaves behind no clear trace. Pentagrams drawn on walls. Hail, Satan, whispered into the ears of the dying. Ramirez wasn't just a murderer. He wanted to terrify, to make his victims feel his darkness, feel what he believed he was, an instrument of Satan himself. He wore black. He never blinked. He smelled of death and decay. Survivors said he looked like a demon crawling out of hell. The attacks became relentless. Sometimes he'd shoot. Other times he'd stab. Sometimes he'd rape. Other times he'd just watch. He'd leave children alive after murdering their parents. There was no method, and that's what made him impossible to catch. He was unpredictable, and the entire city was paralyzed. Some lived to tell the tale. Maria Hernandez shot at close range, but the bullet ricocheted off her keys. She escaped. Inside, her roommate was dead. Others survived by pretending to be dead or by divine luck. But the trauma never left. Their eyes held the same story. They had seen something inhuman. News outlets exploded. The Night Stalker dominated headlines. Sketches of a gaunt man with wild eyes spread across every TV screen. The city locked its windows. People slept with bats and kitchen knives. But Ramirez loved it. The attention, the fear. He fed off it. Every headline was a trophy. Detectives Frank Salerno and Gil Carrillo were assigned the case. Veterans of horror. But this was different. There were no boundaries, no motive, no signature, just carnage. They chased shadows through alleyways and whispers. The pressure mounted. Another murder. Then another. The trail never stopped bleeding. He slipped through cracks in the night, entered through unlocked windows, picked locks with eerie precision. Victims said it was like he teleported. One moment silence, the next. The devil in the room. He left footprints, satanic symbols, shoe prints from rare Avia sneakers. Size 11.5, that clue would matter later. July, August, murders across Southern California. Elderly couples, young teens, children taken from their beds and left miles away. The randomness shattered any sense of logic. People began to believe they were cursed, that evil had a face, and it was walking freely through their city. Fear became routine. Families taped their windows shut, gun stores sold out. People slept in shifts. No one walked alone at night. Some didn't leave home at all. LA wasn't a city anymore. It was a haunted maze, and at its center, a predator who showed no sign of stopping. One night, he left behind a fingerprint. Another night, a witness described his rotting teeth and foul odor. Police began piecing it together, slowly, painfully, but it wasn't enough. He was always gone before they arrived. The devil didn't wait for sirens. August 1985, a stolen car, fingerprints inside. Finally, an ID. Richard Ramirez, a 25-year-old drifter with a record, a history of violence, and a face now plastered across every screen. The hunter had a name, and the people wanted blood. The city went on alert. Police forces surged. News crews chased leads, but Ramirez vanished. Until August 31st, East LA, a trip to a convenience store. A face recognized, a scream, then something no one expected. The people fought back. He ran through alleys, over fences, bloodied and wild-eyed. But neighbors, civilians, ordinary citizens cornered him, beat him with pipes, fists, whatever they had. By the time police arrived, Richard Ramirez wasn't the monster in the shadows anymore. He was a man, broken, bleeding, caught. 1989. 4 years after his arrest, the trial begins. A circus of horror, packed courtrooms, cameras flashing, reporters climbing over each other. But all eyes were on him, Richard Ramirez, dressed in black, grinning like the devil. When asked for a plea, he raised his hand and whispered, "Hail Satan!" Survivors came forward, trembling voices, tearful eyes. They described rooms soaked in blood, the smell of sulfur, his laugh echoing in the dark. They faced their monster. Some couldn't finish their stories. Others looked him straight in the eye. He smiled at them all. Footprints, fingerprints, stolen jewelry, guns, satanic symbols, eyewitnesses, survivors, everything lined up. Piece by piece, the prosecution built a fortress of guilt, and still, he smirked, as if none of it mattered, as if he already belonged to something far worse than prison. Women wrote him love letters, sent him photos. Some believed he was innocent, others believed he was powerful. A dark charisma lingered around him, repulsive but magnetic. He became a cult figure, a gothic icon, the embodiment of evil in a media-obsessed age. After one of the longest trials in California history, the jury returned guilty on 43 charges, including 13 counts of murder. The sentence, death. Ramirez simply laughed. "Big deal," he said. Death always went with the territory. San Quentin prison, a cold gray cell. Ramirez sat alone for years. Decades. He gave interviews, spoke in riddles, laughed at death, said Satan was his savior, but the state never got to execute him. In 2013, he died of cancer at age 53. No flames, no chaos, just silence. What creates a Richard Ramirez? Abused as a child, exposed to violence, a cousin who bragged about war crimes, drugs, Satanism, trauma stacked upon trauma, until the boy became something else, a shell, a void, a vessel for destruction. The Night Stalker changed Los Angeles forever. He taught a generation to fear the night, to double lock doors, to keep the lights on. His crimes bled into the city's bones. Even today, those who lived through that summer remember it like a war. Ramirez wasn't just a killer. He was a performance, a statement, a mirror held up to the darkness society pretends doesn't exist. Evil doesn't always hide. Sometimes it stares straight at you and smiles. He's gone, but his story remains, not to glorify him, not to make him a legend, but to remind us monsters are real, and sometimes they walk in human skin. We call him the Night Stalker, but he wasn't born in darkness. He was made by it, and in the end, he became it.